What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. With that being said, man, I want to speak on a recent video that I watched. It was Cam Newton's show, right? And he had a guest on. He had a young lady on by the name of Cristina Mackey. Now, I wasn't really familiar with Cristina Mackey, right? But I watched the show, and she said a lot of things about relationships that I thought was interesting, and I thought it was worth discussing, because this is why, like, women who consider themselves, like, her mindset is why women who consider themselves to be bosses can't find a man, right? Because they have the wrong approach, and they have the wrong outlook on it when they looking for a man. And so now, and again, like, I'm not trying to drag this young lady Christina Mackey. She's very articulate, very attractive, and she's an entrepreneur. She pretty much, she take care of herself. Also, I found out that she used to date what's the guy named Rick Ross, right? I don't know. In this clip, I'm just gonna play a clip of her part of the discussion that she had with Cameron. I'm not sure if she's gonna mention Rick Ross or not, but she did have a relationship with Rick Ross. I might go into why that relationship didn't work out, and part of it is because of her mindset, and the fact that like, her mindset about relationships is why they didn't work. But I'm going to play a statement that I thought that she made that really, like I said, it just really is, it's a prime example of why female bosses can't have relationships. So here we go.
I'm not saying that always happens. There's never a one size fits all. But what I am saying is, I'm not looking at a man like, oh, he's super fine, I want to hit. That's never crossed my mind. He's broke. I don't want nothing from him. You're like, you work at Subway right now, and that's cool. I'm grateful that you have a job, youngster, but I'm on a different level.
Youngster.
Yeah, like, I'm on a different level, right? I've done my work. I put the time in, and honestly, my mindset is I would never work at Subway. No disrespect to Subway. I would never work fast food, right? I'm not saying I didn't. When I was 16, I worked, or when I was 13, I worked at, maybe, I don't know, I was an age and it was young. And I worked at Wendy's for a week. And I was like, I'm going home smelling like chicken nuggets. That's not hot. So you know what I did? I was like, how are the people making the money, right? It was YouTube at the.
All right, so you heard her. She said that like, a man working at Subway, she wouldn't get into a relationship with him. But if you look at it like this, now she considers herself to be a boss, entrepreneur, self-sufficient. If you look at it like this, like, a man will see a young lady or a woman working, she could be a waitress, she could be working at Subway, like she said, and a man who has means, or a man who can provide for the young lady who's working at Subway, he will have no problem getting into a relationship with her, right? And the reason why that man wouldn't have a problem, if she's somebody that he likes and he's attracted to, he won't have an issue with that, is because if he's a provider and he's already financially stable, then he don't need her for that. And that's the difference between a man who is a boss and a woman who is a boss. A man who is a boss is willing to pay the cost, right? So whatever money a man make, he's willing to put that into taking care of his wife and his kids in his house. A woman who is a boss is not going to put money into taking care of her husband, the house, and the kid. I don't even think this young lady Christina, I don't think she have no kids, and so all her money goes into, probably goes into, like how she look and how she present herself. She can't, because she don't have that mentality of, like, of a real man. She can't do the things that men, like, men, it's more natural for a man to feel like, all right, I'm gonna take care of my house, I'm gonna take care of my woman. But she don't want that. She's looking for a man that's financially, that has what she has to bring to the table. So let's just say for example, if she's a millionaire, she's looking for a man that is a millionaire, right? Which is the wrong way to go about it. It's just like if you're on an airplane and you flying the airplane, what do you need another pilot on there for? You know, you need a you need a stewardess. You need somebody that is going to be on the back of the plane, making everybody on the plane comfortable. You flying the plane, what you need her sitting up front with you for? You need a stewardess. And women don't know how to, some women do not know how to team build. If you got a team, what do you need two quarterbacks for? You know, you never have Tom Brady and Peyton Manning on the same team. It would, you don't need both of those. That means that you're lacking somewhere else, and they don't understand that. Like, I don't think that I don't have a problem with women being like, you know, like calling themselves themselves a boss, but a boss pays the cost. And she is not, she is like one of these women who, if you working at Subway and you can do other things, you know, like in a relationship, because that's what relationships is all about, like making yourself useful, bring something to the table that the other person needs, that the other person, you know, that can't do without. It's even in business, it's about in sales. You know, if you want to succeed in business, you have to bring something to the table that somebody needs. And it's not always money. It's not always money. So she looking at it from a narrow view, she only see like men's value is only money. And so she take when she had that approach, and you can see so many women like that who accomplish things and they get some money, but they can't afford, they would not want the pressures of taking care of a household, a husband, and kids. They can't have that. You never, you hardly, I can't think of any examples of, you can see a woman who is the breadwinner, who has a husband and kids, and their house operates like that. Women not built like that. But a man, if first thing a man want to do is have a family and take care of his family. Women can't, you know, once their they get established in their career, that's basically, if they can handle that, if they can move up through the ladder through doing that, then they can do that. But other than that, they're not going to be able to do the things a man do. You know, I can't even, I think of so many women who are like, even in the entertainment business, like they single and they probably make good money, but they don't have a man because they don't, in order, you know, like if you have a company, you have to know what the company need. You can't bring in somebody else who do the same thing you do. And that's the same thing for a man. Like if though, that's why actors and entertainers, that's why they run into issues with women. But these women are get, you know, they'll come into these relationships and they'll bring anything in there besides sex. Then they want the man to shower them with gifts, or even they want to compete with the man. They be like, well, I want my own business. Can you help me set up my own business? I don't need you for that. You know, we already have a business. That's not your role in this relationship. And that's part of the reason why, if I'm not mistaken, that's part of the reason why this young lady, uh, she broke up with Rick Ross, because she wanted to do other things besides what Rick Ross wanted her to do, which that's her prerogative. Like if she didn't want to be a housewife to Rick Ross, and that's cool, you know, and Rick Ross realized that, so they split up. But let me get back. Hopefully she'll say this in this segment that I got.
So I'm trying to do the YouTube. Like I'm always going to put myself in an entrepreneurial state of mind. So it's not compatible for me to date a man that's at Subway. Well, what if he's just trying his best? Okay, your best is not even on my list of best or worst. Like your bet, if that's your best and that's not even my worst, we're not compatible.
I got a question.
Okay.
What's more important to you?
All right, so that's what I'm saying. So, all right. She only, and that statement right there points out that she only see a man's worth is what he can bring financially to the table. And so that is her, like that's to her downfall. That's like where she's cheating herself at. It's like throwing like a diamond. They call people like diamond in the rough, right? It's like throwing a diamond away because you don't understand how to you know, how to bring the shine out in the diamond, you know. So, and that's how a lot of women cheat themselves. I heard the comedian, what's the lady name? Cheryl Underwood. She said that no matter how much money she make, that the man is the head of her household. But you very rarely hear a woman say that. Like if she make money, and Cheryl Underwood said that because she had a father in her life, and she understood that the man is more than just the money. He's more than just a wallet, and it's more to a man than just that. But this lady right here, she's very intelligent, very articulate, very attractive, but she don't understand that. And people have a narrow mindset when they think that that's all a man is for. And the same thing, like if you're a rich man and you bring a woman into your life and you think that's all she is for is just sex, then it's so much more to a woman than just sex. Then you cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself out of gifts and things that she could bring to the table besides just sex. So let me get to some more of her, basically her mindset on men and how like these women call themselves bosses and entrepreneurs, how they cheat themselves, like their lives will be limited.
A job title or income?
I don't care about your job title. I don't care about are you providing?
Okay.
Yeah. You could be the CEO and making $1,000 a month.
Now pause. If he had a job at fast food, just hear me out.
This is a corner of the universe I don't want to visit.
No, but we have to go there.
Let's do it.
Because if you're talking about, you don't care about a title, you care about income.
Mm-hmm.
If he has motion, there's people working in fast food that you may see that has a large, or that may have a large income.
You're not serving me a Subway sandwich and you have a large income.
Okay, let me put it in this way. And I'm trying to educate you on this.
Please, no, I'm welcome.
I was really interested into becoming a franchise owner.
That's fire.
One of the requirements of the franchise was you had to have had real hours. No matter who you are, no matter what you are, you had to have had real hours so you can know the day-to-day and what the expectation is for that franchise. What really intrigued me about this opportunity was a man by the name of Junior Bridgman. He also ended up becoming one of the CEOs of Ebony Magazine, and rest in peace to him and his family. But the reality was, everybody looks at basketball players as the North Star being Michael Jordan. Well, if you really look at career earnings, Junior Bridgman is probably a close second, if not first, with career earnings, because he owned franchises like McDonald's, I don't want to misquote, Wendy's, TGI Friday. Doesn't matter what it is, but in order for him to have the multitude of, a lot of business in his portfolio, he had to get the hours. What I guess I'm trying to say is,
all right, let me cut Cam Newton off right here. Like, I think Junior Bridgman was a guy who played. I think he played in the NBA like back in the day in a few years. I think he left the NBA. I think he was I think he used his money to start up like some Wendy's to buy up some Wendy's franchises, right? And he wound up like he have a whole bunch of restaurant franchises, and he's a very wealthy man. Now to look at him, because he's a business owner, he's a working man. So to look at him, you like somebody like this young lady, she would not recognize him, and she would not see the potential or see like his worth, because she's looking at she's looking at the book, the cover. You know what I mean? She don't know the book. She don't know that this man is worth like almost probably like billions, close to $1 billion. If he talking about the same guy, so you don't know, who you are, the person you judging the book by its cover, and you wind up cheating yourself. And so she's saying that you're not going to serve and they have shown pictures. I've seen pictures of this guy working at his restaurants. He's a billionaire. You know, he serves food sometimes, or he might work in the back, like, you know, I don't know, in the back of the restaurants, whatever they do in the back of the restaurants, in the office part. But only people that know that he is who he is people who are close to him. But to look at him, you wouldn't know that he's a billionaire, you know, and he owned like hundreds of franchises. I know he owned a lot of Wendy's restaurants. So but she judged books by its cover. You gotta have, you know, you gotta be flashy in order to, you know, to attract a woman like her's attention, which if you Junior Bridgman, you don't want to attract a woman like this. You don't have need for a woman like this. Like if you had a kind of money that she likes a man to have, what can she like? What do she have to offer? You know, that you could like would be tangible or valuable to your life. It wouldn't be nothing. She'd come in there with, you know, she articulate, very attractive, but other than that, she don't have anything to offer herself.
Don't judge a book by its cover, especially when you said income is important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just because that man is making you a Subway sandwich, you may not know, or it may not be important for him to let you know that, baby, I'm the owner of this. And I got 3 or 4 more other ones. But you see Subway manager, and oftentimes, this is not a woman thing. This is a human thing, because there's men that's out there that says, hold on, it can't be. If what you're identifying as something that you like, which is income, we all like motion, rather than a title, because you can't be a CEO, a business owner, and it's a failing business. And you're that individual that is providing provision for not just you, but your family. Just have a more open mind to that.
I receive that, but it's a cute analogy. It's just not common for the person. It's once in a lifetime, limited edition for a man to be, a young man especially, right? To be serving me a Subway sandwich and he owns 3 of them. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that's a limited edition situation. I'm talking about right now, if I go pull up to Wendy's, the dude that, hey, what's up? Can I take your order? Damn, can I get your number, shawty? No, you can't. Lock in, brother. You know what I'm saying? Lock in. You don't need to be getting anybody's number right now. Your whistle should not be wet. Keep it dry, keep it cute, and
yeah. So again, that you just get to see her mindset, and I agree with her. Like most of the time, you know, like if you go through a drive-through window and the person that served you not going to be the person that's the owner, but she also missed the point. Like that's not you still, when you get to meet the owner, or if in a situation, if you get to find yourself in a room with somebody who owns anything or somebody who has any kind of motion, what can you like? Why would they want to be in a relationship with you? Like, what do you bring to the table? They already have money. And like I said, you don't need 2 Tom Brady's on a 10. You're gonna come in there with your money. Either you are helping the cause or you trying to compete with, you know what I mean? Like if she's trying to compete with the man that's in her house, then the relationship not gonna work. Because that's not, you don't need competition from within in order for that, you know, in order for that relationship to work. You know, she want to start her own business. Cool. Go ahead and start your own business. And I'll run my house and my business and find somebody else who, you know, who understands that that's not what I need. And that's why a lot of these young ladies, and especially in the entertainment business, you could just look at them and name them. I won't even name them because I just think that people just, you know, they get offended. But if you look at these women who are entertainers and they complain about men you have toxic masculinity, or men are, you know, chauvinistic and stuff like, it's not chauvinism. It's men know that they know how to set up a team. If my strength is protecting and providing, then what do I need another provider for on my team? I need somebody who bring, and then on top of that, if you bring something to the table that I don't have, or that I can't provide, that gives you more value. if I'm already a billionaire and you got a $500 million, and you get on my nerve, you can go ahead about your business. If I got more money than you anyway, so you can go ahead about your business. And that go for men or women. You got to bring something to the table that the other person needs and can use. And she don't get that. You got, so yeah, she missed the whole point of this, of what Cam Newton, I thought, was trying to say. You're trying to judge a book by its cover. Then when you get into a room or you get into a space with somebody who's making the kind of money, she says she finds that attractive. She found Rick Ross attractive because Rick Ross had money. He had motion. But Rick Ross probably didn't, he didn't want her because she wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that didn't work for him. So realize that, though, when you get into a position where, though, you have money as a woman, that you got to pay the cost to be the boss. The same way a man would have to pay for a house, pay to, to take care of his wife and his kids. That's the same way. If you're a boss, and if you want that role, then that's what come with it. Bosses don't look for partners. Bosses look for bosses look for employees. And so that's basically, that's all I gotta say about the situation. But look at these women who don't have men, who make good money, and they can't find a man. It's easier for a man who make good money to find a woman because it don't matter what she make. He already had money. But the woman is not like that. But she call herself a boss, but she don't want to pay the cost to be the boss. So that's all I got to say on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.